What an ending. What an ending. Subverted expectations. Didn't expect this at all. But I like it. Hello and welcome back to the couch. We saved you a seat. My name is Luke and today we're going over the final chapter, chapter 30 of Project Hail Mary. Yes, this is the final chapter. If you've stayed with us this long, you know the deal. You can follow along on this playlist and purchase the book from the Amazon link in the description below. But let's talk about the chapter real quick. Don't need to go over everything. This is really more of an epilogue where we just sort of discuss and find out what Ryland was doing and how he managed to live to the point where, you guessed it, Earth manages to survive. So Ryland's eating me burgers in the very beginning of this, and I thought that was really weird that it said me burgers and vitamin soda. Not the vitamin soda, that makes sense, but me burgers. And then you get to the point where they've managed to clone his flesh and muscle, and it's essentially cloned human material. So I don't like that, personally. And I don't like that because they have all of human science on a computer. They could clone his material and adapt it for beef or chicken or whatever. He is their only humanoid Earth material, right? They could have done that. That's the thing. Regardless, he's eating his breakfast. It's now 16 years later. Body is degraded from the extra gravity that's happened. And we all, listen, I love Dragon Ball Z as much as anybody else. And I would love to train in positive gravity, but it's not feasible. This shows this pretty well, I think, where your joints, muscles, and bones would break down without having any sort of structure to support those things in the bonus gravity. Remember, it's just above 2 times Earth's gravity, so he's not walking around at $180, $165. He's walking around at like 330, 340, right? And so it's a little different. It's got to be way harder on his system. Of course, he's more accustomed to it than we would be because he was on the ship. But things aren't going great. He still has a great relationship with Rocky. He talks to Rocky, and the greatest thing that happens in this chapter for me isn't the end when he's a teacher again and he's talking to the students about light speed. It's actually him finding out that Earth is saved. And it's great that he and Rocky can do some quick math and sort of figure out that, yes, only about 6 to 12 months between the time that the Beatles would have gotten back to Earth did Earth survive. And they cleared up the Astrophage issue on Sol, which is our sun. One of the other kind of strange parts, and it's not something that I would have thought about until it happened, but he's living in a dome. See, the Iridians have claimed that they were going to do whatever they can to keep him alive. He's a hero for them. He's an alien. He's a friend of Rocky's. He's also a hero for them. There's a lot of reasons why they want to make sure that he sustains life, especially on their planet, for what he means to them socially, economically, scientifically, all the reasons. Pretty logical race of beings. Makes sense. But he's in pitch black darkness. The dome is covered by these atmospheres, 29 atmospheres of the ammonia, and he's got an oxygen supply, right? He's got everything he needs. This part is pretty interesting. I was wondering while reading, how did they get him down to the ship? You're getting a full ADHD breakdown. I'm just going over a few things, but how did they get him down to the planet? Did they build something for him in space, and then he'd get in the item and then move down onto the planet? That part was kind of wild. Something that we can all relate to also. Oh, and it's dark. It's dark on the outside of the dome. They have no light on Arid. So the only part of Arid that's lit at all whatsoever is what's inside the dome. And him having to explain what a light bulb is pretty fun also. So I'm sure, it's in the computer. It's in the information he gives them. But him having a conversation like, oh, right, so there's this thing called light, and it comes from the sun, and you guys have no idea what this is. Pretty interesting. But yeah, he's now teaching kids. He's kind of older. He's a little bit more decrepit. He thinks about whether or not he's going to go back home now that the Earth is saved, or at least he thinks the Earth is saved. There's evidence to say that it is. And he's mixed on it. They never tell you what his relative time would be if he was in a ship traveling from Erid to Earth. Is it about the same? Is it about 4 years? Is it about 8 years? Right? Could the Iridians put him in a better coma? Right? Because they have all the science on the laptops. Could they put him in a better coma? Could they put him in some sort of sustained animation? Could they put him in some sort of deep freeze? Right? Bring his body, bring all his molecules all the way down to close to 0 Kelvin. He wouldn't age at all. Right? And then just reanimate him when he gets there. Who knows? That's some sci-fi stuff I'm glad we didn't try to conquer here. The 0 Kelvin reanimation thing. That would have been a little bit weird. But no, I mean, you know, he's essentially this old hobbit professor. He's like old Ben Kenobi out there teaching younglings how to do science. It's pretty good. This is a great sort of... I didn't expect this. I don't think anyone could have. You'd think he was going home, especially when you watch the trailer for the movie. And you know the story of the Martian, where against all odds, the Martian comes back to Earth. You expect the same thing. I love seeing that their relationship, that's Rocky and Ryland's, has blossomed even more. Rocky's become kind of a bro, and Ryland's like this old man, and he's like sitting on his porch and being not grumpy, not curmudgeon, but he's just old, and he's got an old soul, we'll call it. He claims to be about, he said he's probably in his early or late 50s at this point, but once again, gravity, it's the law. So there's that issue. It's gonna crush him. It's gonna be uncomfortable. I'd wonder if he were to, and when he were to pass away, if he was still on Erid, if they would ship his body back to Earth with some sort of note or communication that says, "Here lies Ryland Grace, the hero of 2 planets, the hero of 2 systems," something of that effect. I think that would be cool. But yeah, I mean, he got scurvy. We talked about that in the last video. Of course, he got scurvy. You need those vitamins and nutrients. The Iridians are very bright. I like how they're described in their society as not a hive necessarily, but pretty similar, right? Because when I think of the Iridians, I don't think about spiders, actually. I think about the villains in the Matrix that are in the real world who are like climbing through the tunnels to chase the Nebuchadnezzar and the other ships. That's what I think of when I visualize it in terms of how they're shaped and how they move. Rocky and Ryland's relationship is still so good. I mean, Ryland talks about he's being late and that he's old, and then Rocky calls him an old man, and then Rocky's like, "Did you eat?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, ew." You don't talk about eating in polite company, and Rocky doesn't call he calls himself not polite company. They're just bros. They just get it. It's really, really, really awesome. It's great. All I can think about is a sequel. It's sad that we're at the end here. But I do love all the science. All the science that he kind of had to teach them. The effort they went to keep him alive. You know? The way in which he lives is not great. I imagine there's been flirting. I wonder if Rocky's people, the Iridians, can flirt. Because Ryland has everything. He has all the information that Earth can provide. His ship is still in orbit, so he could go home. I've got a few questions for you all now that the story's over, but let's just do it. Would you go home? If you found out that Earth was still there, you were on the Hail Mary for 4 years. Let's say they can put you in some suspended animation on the ship, thanks to the scientific advancements they've gained, plus all of the resources they have currently. They could put you in some sort of suspended animation or 0 degrees Kelvin and stop your cells from moving. Let's say they could do that. Would you? Would you go home? I think I would. I think I would go home. Even if I had to live for the amount of years, 4 years, let's say, and I had plenty of food, and I knew I was gonna make it, I might go to on the Hail Mary. I might take the Hail Mary back, and I would maybe hope to be escorted by one of the Iridian ships. You could begin negotiations, begin a conversation, begin resource transfer, begin whatever. The one thing I always think about is the capacity for Earth, right? And he talks about it in the story. This is all off the cuff, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place. But he talks about it in the story. He's like, I wonder if they work together. And then he figures, well, if they found the solution and executed on that solution, and that solution also being on Venus in that amount of time, knowing how long it takes to travel from one space to another, that they probably came together pretty quick to solve this issue. But how many millions died, if any, from climate change or from issues? Did they begin to build outer space stations? Just pick up things off of Earth and move them out into space using Astrophage as the power source and the lift, and they create rings or something like a Babylon 5 station. I mean, it took them so long to make the Hail Mary, but I guess if they had to do it again, they could probably do it again in half the time, Earth. Especially since I don't have to farm the Astrophage from scratch. I'd probably go home. 2 times Earth's gravity as an old man sounds horrible. That sounds dreadful, getting up to that every single day. I also don't like the idea of eating a clone of my own flesh and muscle. But yeah, I wasn't expecting this ending. I was expecting him to go home. I think you all were all thinking I would expect him to go home too. It's different than The Martian, which is nice. There's one other book I can think of that has a similar kind of subversion of expectations. And I will save that for the next video when I talk about the things I liked about the book and things I didn't like about the book, and a few of my sequel ideas. One of them being kind of outlandish, and the other one being kind of, well, realistic, more thoughtful, less weird. Talk about that next time. And then like I said, the one video we're going to release is William now and myself are going to rewatch the trailer, and I'll be the one who's seen the trailer once and now read the book, and we're rewatching the trailer together. He's never seen it, so it's going to be a really cool thing. I don't really remember a lot of the trailer, unfortunately, except for some of the very few moments that are talked about in some of the comments that y'all have referenced. And then, Rocky, yeah. So I think that'll be it for me for this book. I'm pretty sad that this is coming to a close, but this is a massive undertaking for me. This is a very new project for me, and I really just appreciate everyone watching and following along. I think we're going to move on to something else very, very soon, hopefully next week. We'll see. Gotta get some things in order. Gotta plan some other content for the channel here. If you have any ideas for future content, please let us know. I think William and I are going to do some reactions for The Legend of Vox Machina, because we love that show, and The Mighty Nine will be releasing very soon. There's 3 seasons of The Legend of Vox Machina. If you've never seen it, it is adult humor in cartoon, fairly funny, excellent voice actors. It's got a lot of lore itself to it. In the real world, I don't know it all. I'm not even going to attempt to get into it, but it's D&D based. It's a lot of fun. It's exciting. It's rated PG-13 plus probably. So we might do that. We like fantasy and sci-fi on the channel. I think we're going to continue that road. So yeah, I think that's it for me. So if you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. Also, check out the book in the description below. If you don't want the book, but you still want to support the channel, buy whatever else you'd buy on Amazon, toilet paper, food. Doesn't matter. And if you use that link, it'll help me out. So I appreciate your time. And once again, later, taters.